Good evening and welcome to Netzach Yisrael's daily Kitzur Shulchan Aruch Shir. This evening we're going to continue with Siman Mem Hey, Hilchos Birkas HaZimun. So the halachas concerning the Zimun, the invitation that we give at the start of benching with either three or more people. We're continuing from Seif Yud Gimel. In Taham Zamein Ba'asara, the Gam Ha'onim, allow his QS Hashem the Birkas HaZimun. So if the person leading the Zimun in a group of 10 people, and also the people responding to him, all made a mistake and didn't mention the name of Hashem during the bracha of the Zimun. In other words, they didn't say Baruch Elokeinu Sh'achonu Shalal B'Rachainu. They didn't say that Elokeinu. Excuse me. Einam Yecholim Lachzar Ulzamein B'Shem. They're not able to repeat the Zimun and to say Hashem's name in the correct place. Because they've already fulfilled their obligation of the Zimun, so they can't go back and repeat it. Except what they've done is they've missed out, they've skipped on the extra mitzvah of mentioning Hashem's name, but they've done the mitzvah of Zimun, so they can't now repeat it with Hashem's name. And it is therefore something that's crooked that can no longer be fixed. But if the responders to the leader of the Zimun have not yet responded to him, then since the mitzvah of Zimun has not yet been fulfilled, they haven't completed it, then the one who is leading the Zimun can go back and repeat the line and say the name of Hashem, Baruch Elokeinu, etc. Sif Yud Daled, Im Shiva Achlu Pas Ushlosha Achlu Piros of Shosu Mashkin. If 7 people were sitting in a group and they were eating bread, and there were a further at least 3 people who ate fruit or had something to drink, the inyan shechayavin b'bracha achrona, in such a manner that they would then be obligated in a bracha after eating, so they had at least a kazayas or at least a revius. Then yichalin zamein b'Hashem, then they can join together as a group of 10, and they can do the zimun with the name of Hashem. And he says in brackets, "B'chan kulei alma maudu t'sagei b'feiros u'mashke." In this instance, everyone agrees that if the 3 people have fruit or drink, that is enough that they can combine together with the other 7 who have bread to form a group of 10. And it's a mitzvah to try to assemble 10 people to make the Zimun with Hashem's name. However, if only 6 of them ate bread and there were 4 who had fruit or drink, they can't do the Zimun with the name of Hashem, because we need a recognizable majority, not just a majority of 6, but something that's even a bit more than that. We need at least 7. Sif Tesvav, any group of people who ate a meal together, even if they didn't eat the whole meal together, but they sat down together to eat, and they made the bracha of hamaltzi together. Even if each one is eating from his own loaf of bread, since they've become one group, they join together, whether it's a group of 3 or the bigger group of 10, they can't divide up into smaller groups and they can't bench by themselves. And even if just one of them wants to finish his meal before the others are finished, he wants to split off and do his own benching, he's not allowed, they're not allowed to split up. But if they didn't establish themselves as a group at the beginning of the meal, but instead, after 2 of them had already eaten something, even if they'd only eaten a kazayas, an olive's amount of food, and then a third person came along and sat down with them and made them a group of three. If he finishes his meal with them, then chayav and bezimun. Then they are obliged to bench with a zimun, with the regular zimun of three people. But in this case, if he wanted to finish his meal before them, since he didn't start with them in the first place, and also he's finishing before them, then he's permitted to split off and to say Birkas Hamazon by himself. When we come back home, nevertheless, it's a special mitzvah that he should wait, if possible, that they can make the bracha with the zimun. May have said, however, if he's forced to leave to finish early, or he's worried about losing something out, so if he's taking a lunch break and he has to get back to work and is worried about losing out on business, then even if he did establish himself with them as a group of three at the start of the meal, he is allowed to finish his meal before them, and to make Birkas Hamazon by himself. If the matter is not pressing, if he's got no real reason to rush off, so he needs to be stringent on himself. He needs to wait until they finish, and then they can have the zimun together. Sif Tes Zayin. There were three people who ate together. And one of them forgot about zimun. And he went ahead and he made Birkas Hamazon by himself because he forgot that he should wait for the group of three to finish all together and to say zimun. Then in that case, they're still able to do zimun after this one person who forgot is finished saying Birkas Hamazon. And he also should respond the usual response, blessed is he that we have eaten of his food, etc. But if this one person who split off from the three joined into a zimun with two other people who'd eaten together, then he can no longer join into the zimun with the first two. But if two out of the group of three had already made Birkas Hamazon by themselves, even if they'd done it by themselves, even if they'd done just one had benched and the other guy had benched separately, the whole zimun is cancelled. They can no longer join together as a group of three with the one remaining person who has not yet benched. Sif Yud Zayin. So if we got three people who ate together, and two of them have finished their meal, they want to say Birkas Hamazon. And there's one person who's not yet finished eating, but he doesn't want to make Birkas Hamazon yet, he wants to carry on eating. So he needs to temporarily stop eating, so that they can, the two people can make a bracha with the zimun, and he should respond with them to the zimun, and hence they can all be they can all fulfill their obligation of doing zimun. And the person who wants to carry on eating should wait until the person who's leading the benching finishes the first bracha, hazon sakal. And after that, he can continue eating. But inside bracha rishana, he doesn't need to make another bracha rishana, another bracha before eating, because his intention anyway, when he temporarily stopped eating, was to eat some more once he'd finished contributing to the zimun. And when he finishes eating, then he should make Birkas Hamazon as normal. However, if you've got a group of three people and two of them don't want to finish eating, but one of them does, then the two people, they don't need to stop for the sake of the one person who wants to finish and who wants to bench. Unless they particularly want you to do him honor, if he's their Rebbe, for example, which would be more than the halacha requires. 10 people who ate together, then 4 people would need to stop for the sake of 6 people who are the majority out of the 10. If the 6 people want to eat and if the 6 people want to bench and the 4 people want to carry on eating, the 4 people have to stop for the sake of the 6, and then they do the zimun together, and then the 4 can continue eating. However, in this case, the 4 people don't need to wait until the end of the first bracha. They only need to wait until the end of the response to zimun, until they say Baruch Elokeinu v'shacham v'shalal, etc. And after those 4 people have finished their meal, then they can make a zimun for themselves, but it will be without mentioning Hashem's name, because of course there's only 4 of them now, so they're no better than a group of 3 in that respect. There will be no Elokeinu in the zimun. When there's big meals, a large get-together of people, where there are lots of people all eating together, we should choose someone to lead the benching who has a strong, loud voice, so that all the people who are sitting there can hear from the person who's leading the benching at least up to the end of the first bracha Hazan HaSakar. And if that's impossible, if it's just too big a group or there's no one there who's got a strong enough voice to lead, then what they should do is bench Birkas Hamazon in groups of 10 people and 10 people and 10 people. They shouldn't bench all as one group. They should bench as a group of 10 people, so that only the 10 people in that group need to listen to the person who's leading the benching in that group. So you don't need someone to bench for the whole crowd. Sifyut test. If you've got 2 groups of people who are eating together in one house, or even if they're eating in 2 separate houses, but in the Kitzur and Rarin Elo, but some of one group can see some of another group, then Mitzvahs and Zimun, then they can all join together for Zimun. If they can't see each other at all, then this group does Zimun for themselves, and this other group does Zimun for themselves. If there is one person who's serving both of them, if there's one waiter who's bringing food to both of them, then he can act as the glue that links them together. He can join them together into one group. However, this is an example. This is only in an example where they originally intended to join together as one group. So even if there is one waiter, but they originally didn't intend to join together as one group, they were planning to be 2 separate groups, then they don't join together, they do Zimun separately. And similar to the last Sif, any instance where they join together into one group, then all the people would need to hear from the person who's leading the benching at least up to the end of the first bracha, Hazan HaSakar. Sif Ka. Someone who is sitting together with the people who are doing Birkas Hamazon with the Zimun, but he personally has not actually eaten anything or drunk anything with them. When he hears the person leading the Zimun say the call to the Zimun, let us bless Hashem, from whom we have eaten from his food. Who he says his own personal response, Baruch Baruch Shema Tamid La'olam Bo'ed. Blessed is he, and blessed is his name, continually, forever and ever. So it's a special response that he says, because of course he hasn't eaten anything, so he can't say Sha'achalnu Mishalal. So he says a separate response just for him. And if they're doing a Zimun with 10 people, and then the person leading the benching, of course, will say, let us bless our God, whose food we have eaten. Then also this person who hasn't eaten anything or drunk anything, he says, blessed is our God, and blessed is his name continually forever and ever. If he arrives at the table after the person who's leading the benching has already said the call to Zimun, let us bless Hashem, and then he hears the people responding, blessed is he whose food we have eaten, or blessed is our God whose food we have eaten, in the case of a group of 10. Then he just says after them, Amen. Just the regular response of Amen, rather than saying the special response. If there's a group of 3 people who've each eaten from their own individual loaf of bread, one of them ate a bread that was made by non-Jews, and the other 2 are careful about not eating bread made by non-Jews. They've only eaten pas Yisrael, bread made by a Jewish baker. Nevertheless, they should join together into a zimun. However, it should be the one who ate the pasnochri, the bread made by non-Jews, who should lead the benching. Why? Because he could theoretically eat together with the others, because he is absolutely fine, presumably, with eating pas Yisrael. He could eat bread that's made by a Jew. However, the 2 people who don't want to eat pas nochri wouldn't be able to eat from his loaf, so he has to be the one leading the benching. And similarly, if one person is eating milky food, and the 2 other people are eating meaty food, it's tartan, they can join together in a zimun. They should join together in a zimun. But it should be the one who ate the milky food who should lead the benching. Because again, he could theoretically take a drink and then eat some of the meat, whereas they can't do likewise. However, if the one who ate milky food doesn't drink wine generally, or there's only, for example, to make the Birkas Hamazon, instead of wine there's only beer made from the chodosh grain, that is the grain that grew before when the Almeh starts on the 16th of Nisan. And he is a person who is generally careful to avoid chodosh. Then it's better that one of the ones who ate meat should lead the benching, with a cup of wine or a cup of beer made from chodosh, then this person who ate milk should bench without a kaus, because it's better that the overriding principle is that the person, then it's better to bench with a cup of wine or beer rather than benching without. And if out of the 3 people, one of them ate hard cheese and 2 of them ate meat, where with hard cheese also there's a question about whether you can immediately eat meat straight afterwards. Yesh Amrim Dainam Estarfin. Some say they shouldn't join together at all into a zimun, but Yesh Amrim they become Estarfin. And then others say that they nevertheless they do join together into a zimun, since they could theoretically eat from one loaf of bread. And in this instance, one may be lenient, which I'm not sure. I would assume that means in this case that that it means they should join together into a zimun, and we can be lenient about the fact that he's eaten hard cheese. If anyone cares to correct me on that. Sif kaf base nashim she'achlu ima nashim she'neschayvu b'zimun. Women who ate together with men, and the men are chayav in zimun, so there's at least 3 men there. Then the women are also obliged to in the zimun, and they need to listen to the zimun and the Birkas Hamazon. Katan nahagin she'ein mitzvah zimun. The custom is with a katan, with a minor, that he doesn't join together with the zimun. Achlu ben yudgim oshana v'yam echad, until he's 13 years and 1 day old. Az mitzvah, then he does join into the zimun. V'yachal levarich Gamhu b'zimun, and you can also make the bracha in the zimun. Apal pi shel nibdak in hevi shtos aros, even though it's not been checked whether he's produced 2 hairs, which is the other siman, the other sign that he has reached adulthood. Sif Kaf Gimel, someone who is not who does not read Shema in the morning and the evening, so he doesn't do this particular mitzvah, or he transgresses averos in public, he shouldn't join into a zimun. Someone who's a complete convert, has completed the whole process, so hence he is 100% Jewish. He does join into a zimun. And he's even able to make the bracha and say in the second bracha of benching, where we're thanking Hashem for that which you have given as an inheritance to our fathers. And the ger is still able to say this because it says about Abraham, Ki ab hamon goyim nusaticha, because I have placed you, Hashem said to Abraham, and I have set you up as the father of a multitude of nations. But Alshinan, and we explain this homiletically, previously he was a father only to Aram, his birthplace, so hence Abram. From now on, from when Hashem gave him his new name, he was the father of all nations, and hence the ger joins into that and hence can say, La Aval saying to our fathers. Thank you. Good night.